Chapter 78, End of World War II and What Would Happen if there was a World War III. On September 2, 1945, Japan accepted the defeat of the World War due to the destruction caused by the atomic bombs dropped on Japan by the United States and unable to show its power and watch the people in its own country being destroyed. Therefore, America became the world leader. Due to the brutal act done by America in Japan, the entire world was shocked as well as the American people who saw the human slaughter. Therefore, American President Harry S. Truman decided not to do such actions again. The United Nations was established on October 24, 1945 by the United States. Realizing the bad name it would bring to its name as well as America by showing its power to innocent people. With the passage of time, it was time for the British rulers in Asia to abandon their colonies. Britain abandoned the Indian colony in 1947 and in 1948, Sri Lanka was also freed from colonialism. The reason for this is because the colonists were fighting against the British. The British were also directly affected by the United Nations. Because during this time, America has learned lessons from wars and because there are more chances to show their support to the aggrieved parties and because the British do not want to destroy their nation by keeping foreign affairs as an issue, they wisely avoided those unnecessary issues. You all have an understanding of the nature of the world wars and the extent of the wars within each country, but you probably have no idea about the impact of a third world war. Let's do some analysis about the situation of that war by adding what is known and what is unknown. Let's make sure that we don't give any support by making a comparison with the past about the resulting human slaughter and what will happen to the nature. During World War II, the technology used was at a very primitive level and the tactics of warfare were also at primitive level. But when they did it from those primitive levels, the destruction was still ahead at an unimaginable level. But if you think for a moment about where we today and the technology we have now, you will understand that the destruction that can be done by it is at a level that can be affect our solar system itself. We can analyze it through examples and let's get some knowledge about the disaster. The nuclear bombs introduced by Albert Einstein and Glenn Theodore Seaborg were the cause of the genocide in Japan in 1945. As of today, there are tens of thousands such nuclear weapons and tens of thousands of even worse nuclear weapons have been produced by various countries. Those amounts are the amounts they have disclosed and there is a large amount of nuclear weapons and technologies that have not been disclosed. A small amount of such a nuclear weapons can remove an entire country from the world map. From that small example, you must have understand the horrors of a third world war. Now let's imagine that the parties who can cause such a great destruction have found some solutions to face such damage directly. That is, high-tech bunkers have been made for certain groups of people to escape from such a destruction. You must have a large amount of money or you must have a large state power to get that bunker. That is, the creation of this war and the help of certain parties to maintain them is a process that will inevitably happen. You must have some understanding about wars and the creation of those wars. But you must keep in mind that the most dangerous aspect of this is none of this. That is, the small population that survives in the world after that war will leave the normal environment and live in an abnormal environment as a result of any victory. It is a direct transition from the technological age back to the cave age. Is it a real win or resounding defeat? Isn't it the people who paid the price with their lives who nearly won the war? I will explain to you why. After such a nuclear attack, the normal environment is filled with highly toxic gases and all the animals and trees begin to perish in a flash. That means food chain is going to stop. After that, production of oxygen is reduced and becomes very harmful to live in the atmosphere, and in order to live, artificial production of oxygen must be started. But that process is not trivial either. After the end of a nuclear war, the entire atmosphere will be polluted by dust and smoke. And because of the lack of sunlight, the creation of an ice age again with extreme cold is a fact that cannot be stopped with the current technology. But I think that China has a solution with that problem. That is, they are making artificial sun for something. That is, isn't like spitting on us to start a nuclear war on these various issues. This explanation is made very simple only to make the process clear to a large number of people. Because there is no need to reduce the understanding of a fact that can be easily explained by using difficult scientific words. This is a very simple case, and isn't it satisfying for you to maintain this existing life instead of living a very difficult life? Otherwise, we should create a society that respects everyone and listens to everyone. Then there will be an earth and evolution, and it will continue to evolve humans. The hope of the new year 2024 is peace for the whole world, and if you want that peace from others, you need to respect each others and need to listen everyone surrounded you. That is the way to a peaceful world.
Please subscribe our channel, Project Ceylon, and thank you very much for your appreciation.